Welcome back, kids. I sure hope you're ready to learn because I have a lot of neat stuff to show you. But first, I need to introduce my assistant, Dizzy Izzy. Dizzy Izzy? I said Dizzy Izzy!
You called?
I sure did, Dizzy. We need to teach the kids all about temperature. And by the looks of the way you're dressed, I'd say you haven't even looked at the temperature today.
As a matter of fact, I did. See? 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Dizzy, this paper's from Houston, Texas. We don't live in Houston, Texas. Look, 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
Dr. Quack, that paper's from Juneau, Alaska. We're not in Juneau, Alaska either.
How did I get a Juneau, Alaska paper?
If the weather isn't 100 degrees and it's not 32 degrees, then what is the weather?
That's a good question. Let's find out.
How are we going to do that when we don't have a local newspaper or a weatherman to tell us what the temperature is?
Well, that's easy. We'll look at a thermometer. Come on, I'll show you.
Dr. Quack, that's a thermostat on the wall, not a thermometer.
Well, this is indeed a thermostat, which allows me to adjust the temperature of the room, but it also tells me what the temperature is, thus acting as a thermometer as well. You see? It's 69 degrees. Oh, no. 69 degrees? Well, I guess I am overdressed.
And I guess I'm underdressed for the temperature.
There, that should do it. I've set this thermostat to 32 degrees, so the air conditioner will cool this room down fast, and I'll be dressed appropriately.
Wow, snow! That was fast! I don't understand. How does that little box on the wall control the temperature?
Well, you see, when we set this temperature to 32 degrees, it tells the air conditioner to run, and the air conditioner runs until it reaches 32 degrees, and then it turns off. If the temperature rises above 32 degrees, it turns the air conditioner back on.
So what if I want the temperature to be hot like 100 degrees?
Well then, we just turn this thermostat all the way up to 100 degrees, and the heater turns on.
Hey, it's raining. Why is it raining?
Well, you see, when the snow in the sky melts, it turns to rain. Just like when rain in the sky freezes, it turns to snow.
Dr. Quack, I see smoke.
Oh, that's not smoke, Dizzy Izzy. That's steam. You see, when water gets really hot, it evaporates. And when a lot of water evaporates, it turns to steam. Speaking of getting hot, it is way too hot in here. Most people like to keep their houses and businesses between 69 degrees and 74 degrees. I like it at 70. Do you know what that means? And you're underdressed. Let's go get into some scientific clothes so we can teach these children more about temperature. Here's an observation I want you to do at home. Find the thermostat to your air conditioner and read what the thermostat is set to and what the temperature actually is, and see how close they are. What is your favorite temperature? Hot or cold?
I like hot better than cold. Cold. I like hot. I like cold. Hot dog.
Do you like winter or summer?
I love summer. Winter's my favorite. I like summer better than winter. I like winter. Winter. I like summer better than winter. Summer so I can go swimming and go to the park.
Hot foods like pizza or cold foods like ice cream?
I like cold foods better than hot foods. I like hot food like pizza. Neither, I like warm. I like hot foods better than cold foods.
So what was the thermostat set to at your house? And what was the temperature? Were they about the same? I bet it was somewhere around 70, right? Hey Dizzy, how'd you like all that rain and snow and steam in the lab?
I thought it was cool and hot.
Remember kids, you can't really make it snow or rain in your house by adjusting the thermostat. That was just sort of a dramatization that we did to get you to understand the topic a little better.
But you can still change the outside weather and make it rain or snow by adjusting the outside thermostat, right?
No, Dizzy. As much as scientists would love to be able to control the weather, I'm afraid there's no such thing as an outside thermostat. No one controls the weather.
Not even the weatherman?
No, the weatherman just predicts what the weather may do. You see, weather is a complex cycle of pressure systems swirling all around the Earth. Temperature plays a vital role in this system.
Thank you, Dr. Quack.
As you can see, temperature is very important to many things in our world. There are two scales that scientists use to measure temperature. One is the Celsius scale, where pure water freezes at 0 degrees and boils at 100 degrees. Then there's the Fahrenheit scale, where water freezes at 32 degrees and boils at 212 degrees. Both scales use the behavior of water during cold and hot as a way to measure temperature. Scientists prefer to use the Celsius scale, while non-scientists, at least in America, usually use Fahrenheit. You would think people would like to use Celsius more because it's so much simpler, 0 being freezing and 100 being boiling, but that's just not the case.
Okay.
Do you know what this is?
It's a thermometer. I know that because I use it to take my temperature when I'm sick.
That's correct. What scale is this in?
It's in the Fahrenheit scale.
The temperature that we're concerned about when talking about humans is called body temperature. Do you know what body temperature is?
I know it shouldn't be a fever.
A fever is when your body temperature is more than what it's supposed to be. A healthy human body temperature is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If it rises above 98.6 degrees, then your temperature is now called a fever. A fever signals that there is something wrong happening inside your body. It could mean you have an infection, or virus, or some other medical problem. If you have a high or prolonged fever, it is best to go see your doctor. What if you discovered you had a fever, but you couldn't get to the doctor real quick? What would your parents do to help reduce the fever?
Give you fever-reducing medicine.
That's true, but what else would they do? Think about what we did in the lab to make it snow.
You mean when you had two guys stand on ladders and pour a bunch of little pieces of paper on our heads?
What did I do?
Oh, you mean whenever you turn the AC on to cool down the room?
Yes, we can also do things to our bodies to cool down our blood to reduce our fevers. For instance, we can take a cold, wet, damp cloth and put it on our foreheads.
Whew, that's cold.
What else could we do?
Take a cold bath.
Exactly. The cold water in a bath will lower the temperature of our blood and reduce our fever. Care to demonstrate?
The things I go through to help you teach a lesson.
The water in this cooler is about 68 degrees.
Hey, it's not so bad. Whew, now that's cold.
Adding the ice to the water dropped the temperature to about 52 degrees. That will reduce the temperature of your blood and lower your fever, if you had one. Now remember, what we've demonstrated here will reduce a fever, but it won't cure the underlying cause of a fever. Your fever is your body's way of telling you that you're sick, so if you have a fever, you should always go to the doctors. Okay, kids, I have an experiment for you. Ask your parents to help you take your temperature with a thermometer. Now read what it says on the thermometer. Also, check and see if it says Fahrenheit or Celsius. Your temperature should be somewhere around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. By the way I'm dressed, I guess you can tell what aspect of temperature we're going to be talking about now. Temperature as it relates to cooking. This is the chemist's kitchen. Dizzy Izzy isn't back yet. Dizzy Izzy! Dizzy Izzy!